All right, and a pleasant good morning to you from Tony'sPicks.com, and welcome to Night Moves here for Monday, March 30th. We're marching on into April here soon and into the Final Four next weekend. Should be an exciting group of games here with the Final Four after an incredible day on Sunday, an incredible game that we just can't stop watching the highlights and talking about here with the epic collapse by Duke leading by 19 points late in the first half against UConn on Sunday, led by five with under 2 minutes to go in the game. But oh man, what a moment and what a finish at the Final Four, at the Elite Eight there with UConn, and the epic comeback and the epic finish there on Sunday game we probably not going to forget for a long time. Be talking about for a long time here, of course, with the incredible finish as UConn wins and advances. There, Braylon Mullins, a 35-foot three-point shot with 4/10 of a second left in the game for the win. Terrace Reed, you guys talked about him last night, 27 points in the wild comeback. The Boozer brothers combining for 42 points. Great game, no doubt about it. A little heartbreak for Duke, certainly, but a spectacular comeback for the Huskies. The Devils, stormed out to that big lead in the first half, but UConn rallied with that spurt there late in the game. Duke did shoot 60% in the first half. UConn just 1 of 18 on their three-pointers to start, then drained 4 long baskets. Caravan, no points in the opening half for the Huskies, but they were able to get it done. Last year, the Final Four, remember, Duke led by 6 with just over a minute left and lost that game to Houston. So UConn and Illinois is one semifinal on Saturday in Indianapolis for John Shire and the Duke Blue Devils. It's been 4 years since he replaced Coach K. Great results. Lost in the second round, made it to the Elite Eight, made it to the semifinals, made it to the Elite Eight. Just can't get over the hump so far in his Duke coaching career. So UConn and Illinois there on Saturday. All right. Thanks for joining me here on the show. We got another game to talk about. We got some other things to talk about too. We'll preview the action for Monday, including Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL. We still got sports here to go. Let some folks join in with us. We only got a half a dozen of you so far, so I better keep on talking and let a few people come in. But hello to the folks that are starting to come on in here into the chat right now. Don't forget, there was maybe another game there on Sunday as Michigan was able to knock off Tennessee. Man, 95-62. Michigan shot 65.5% from the inside. Looks so efficient, so strong with Lindenborg. Talked about him all season. He might be the most unheralded of the top players in college basketball, but he might be the most mature and most polished. And it really what's make Michigan's engine go as the Wolverines led by 22 points at halftime. They went to the foul line 37 times, made just 27, but big win there. Last time Tennessee lost by more than 7 points, which basically, was the spread in the game, was on January 10th. So it'll be Arizona and Michigan in the other national semifinal on Saturday night at the Final Four. So, hey, thanks for joining us here, and going to have a good show and go over the action here for Monday. But, oh, man, we can't wait for that Final Four action here next week. You did take a look at those lines also that did come out for the Final Four games. You got Illinois favored by 2 over Connecticut, and it's Michigan favored by 1, maybe 1.5 against Arizona. Total 157 there next Saturday. All right, and did have some Major League Baseball action and some winners here on Night Moves last night. We had the Colorado Rockies plus the run and a half against the Marlins, and it was the Marlins winning it there with Owen Casey, a 2-out, 2-run home run for the walk-off win. The Marlins are 3-0 for the first time in 17 years. So let's go Marlins. Let's uh, teaching those Rockies a lesson after what I said there. The Rockies may not have the personnel, but they also didn't have the relief pitching. Marlins get that win there. Also, Pirates beat the Mets 4-3 in 10. Man, a lot of extra inning games, a lot of close games, but Ryan O'Hearn, 3 hits and 2 RBI for Pittsburgh. Juan Soto hit a double to left center with 2 men on in the 10th to play to run the Pirates through the tying run out at the bullpen and out of the plate. And Pirates win 4-3 over the Mets in 10. It was the Rays over the Cardinals. A night moves winner here and a winner for me over at Tony's Picks with the over in that one with a premium pick winner. As the Rays dumped the Cardinals again, Big Toe said the Rays offense is for real, and they scored 11 runs in the game. Yandy Diaz 5 for 6 in the game, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Tampa Bay scored 23 runs in the 3-game series. Now they did lose 2 of the 3 games, but I think that's a little bit of variance there, and I'm sure the bullpen isn't as bad as it might have shown there, but they did get that win on Sunday, and we had the premium pick winner on the over there. Astros over the Angels 9-7. Isaac Paredes game-winning 2-run double in the 8th inning. Zach Nato homered. Also had 2 RBI and walked 3 times, and Tatsuya Imai gave up 4 runs in 2 2/3 innings in his major league debut. We did have the over here as our winner on Night Moves there last night. Milwaukee with a win over the White Sox 9-7. Milwaukee trailed 7-3, scored 6 runs in the 8th inning. Christian Yelich, a pinch hit 3-run home run, proved to be the game winner as the Brewers swept the series, scoring 29 runs. We had the run line here on Night Moves last night with the Brewers. Somehow we got there. Mariners shut out the Guardians late 8-0. Emerson Hancock threw 6 scoreless innings there. We got the run line winner in that one. Talked about Hancock there yesterday and laid the run line there. Brendan Donovan homered, knocked in 3 runs for the Mariners. Also had some other winners here on Night Moves last night with the Athletics and the Blue Jays game to go under. That was our pick here. We were able to score there in that one with the 5-2 Toronto win. We had the unders, our winner here on Night Moves. Also, Night Moves winner here last night with Boston and Cincinnati game to go under in the 3-2 win for the Reds. And a Night Moves a winner there as well. So pretty fun day there with Major League Baseball. And of course, it was a limited schedule because of the opening weekend. So you had some teams that staggered their schedule a little bit. We do have a couple of day games. It's still opening day in a few places here for another week or so. So we have a little bit of day action on Monday in the major leagues, and we'll preview it here in just a moment. We caught the game that we're talking about, and the ABS continues to be kind of a great talking point, and it was another bad day for another umpire on Sunday in Baltimore with umpire Chris Siegel behind the plate. The teams challenged 10 ball strike calls on him, and 7 of the 10 calls were overturned there for Siegel. So, they used to say, or the old saying was, we don't go to the games to watch the umpires, but you know what? Maybe now we do. They're becoming a third team out there, and kind of funny the way they get frustrated when they get embarrassed. Really sad to see some that you'd think umpires should be guys with very little ego, and it just shows how fragile those guys are. Actually, Major League Baseball umpires, a unique sort. All right, let's see here. Say hello to a few folks. Pardon, we got a dozen of you in here. I want to get a few more before we start the proceedings. So let's say hi, though, and I'll talk a little bit about NBA, NHL winners with Mr. Wesker's here. He's cheering for his favorite college coach. Tim Am is here today as well. Power Critter's here. Great to see Power Critter there. Timmy Two Shoes, ready to go with us. Larry Martin, he's there. Here I am on the big screen. Oh my goodness. I better do my hair for Larry there. And yeah, man, what a great moment there for Hurley and the Huskies. Really exciting, man. That was really uh, something you won't forget. You know what I'm saying? There, and, man, Luzardo, bad performance there. Hey, look who's here. I want to say hello to Arnell in the chat. He thinks Yukon and Arizona. All right, nice to have Arnell there. Really cool. Who else is here? Richie Rich, ready to rock here on Monday. All right, let me get a few more in here. Maybe I could just touch on a few more news and notes from sports here on Sunday. There was also some women's action as also be women's action on Monday. The Elite Eight for the women open play on Sunday there. We had a couple of games there with UCLA, speaking of Duke, right? But it was UCLA beating Duke 70-58. They did not get the money. Duke got the money, actually getting double digits. Fell right in between, actually. Duke, UCLA opened 9.5-10, closed 13.5-14, gets the win by 12, 70-58 to advance. And Connecticut with a 70-52 win over Notre Dame. Not even close to covering in that one, as Notre Dame was able to get the money. Connecticut advances, however, of course, to another Final Four there for UConn. So great job there by the Huskies, and there'll be two games with the ladies on Monday here. It'll be Michigan and Texas. Texas favored by 9, total 138.5, and TCU and South Carolina. South Carolina favored by 14, 134. But TCU has been a great team so far this season. That'll be a good one there on Monday. All right, let me take a look here real quick at action here from the NBA on Sunday. We did have some winners here on the show last night, including the LA Clippers. Yeah, we had the Clippers on the road laying those big points there at Milwaukee. They were able to pull away late and get the cover in the Tankathon, 127 to 113. It might have been a push, actually. I know it was 14. We were on the show. It actually went up to as high as 17. So, you know what? I'm not going to take credit for a win on that one. It went too high there. I'll give it a push minimum, but I think actually the Bucks got the money for most of the backers there. Went all the way up to 17.5 there late. So let me go ahead and find some other winners anyway. Heat and Pacers was a premium pick winner for me over at Tony's Picks yesterday, 135 to 118. Remember what I said on the show here, that this one actually would be heading north of 250 points. I think we nailed that one here on the show there yesterday. And also Night Moves winner with the Portland Trailblazers. Another blowout winner for Portland, man. These guys know how to cover double digits. 123 to 88 as Portland gets the win there over Washington, crushing them there. Also, Night Moves winner here, Boston Celtics on the road over Charlotte. They took down Charlotte big time, 114 to 99. I did have a premium pick winner on the under in that game, under 217, and it did stay under there with the Celtics playing some good defense there against the Hornets here on Sunday. Also, Night Moves winner Knicks and the Thunder game to go under in the 111 to 100 win there for the Thunder at home. They did get the win and the cover in that big matchup. And then late night, there was the final game of the night was the Nuggets defeating the Warriors 116 to 93. All right, over the NHL, did have a couple winners here on Night Moves last night. We didn't cover all the games there, but we did have the Nashville Predators on the puck line against the Lightning here on Sunday for a Night Moves winner on the ice there in that one. And also we had the Philadelphia Flyers over Dallas. They won it 2-1 in overtime. All right, good to see everybody in there tonight, and we'll get rolling here with the show in just a moment. But first, I want to head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and take a look at our premium picks and see who did well on the board here for Sunday. Take a look at our handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot over at Tony's Picks here, and get ready for the action on a Monday with our premium picks. See who was on top of those handicapper leaderboards. I don't think I was on top of the handicapper leaderboards here. Kind of split my action a little bit, but let's open it up and go to the site and see who did do well here for Sunday. And it was Ron Hahn. He's on top of the handicapper leaderboards here for Sunday, 3-0. Tony T continues to blister the leaderboards here. Another 3-0 performance there for Tony. David Racy, 7-5 on Sunday. Solo Malone, 8-6 there. Shane Mickle, 3-1 on Sunday. Al Ninos, of course, won his only play. Mills Young, also 1-0 there on Sunday. And also Double Shooty, taking those underdogs to the window there, 2-2. Same with Tom Reghard. He's in the green on Sunday. Last 7 days, Tony T, look at this, 14-3 for Tony. Right now, 10.5 units over the last 7 days. He's the hottest capper in the country right now, I think. David Racy up there, 10.5 units over the last 7 days. Nick Lagaretto's up 9 1/3 units. Last 7 days, Ron Hahn up over 7 units. In the last 7 days, Bo Dunn up over 6 units in the last 7 days. Double Shooty up 4 units over the last 7 days. Hey, I'm up there, up nearly 4 units over the last 7 days. Tom Reghard up 2.5 units over the last 7 days. Brian Bittler up 2 units. Jorge Gonzalez, Al Nino, Shane Mickle, the VIP account, up in the green last 30 days. Shane Mickle up 14 1/3 units. Here at Tony'sPicks.com, Brian Bittler up nearly 13 units last 30 days. Bo Dunn up over 8 units last 30 days. Kevin Thomas up 8 units over the last 30 days. Tony T's up 5 1/4 units over the last 30 days. Mills Young, Al Ninos, Ron Hahn up there over the last 30 days. Click on the Premium Picks tab. That's where you'll find all the handicappers with their premium picks loaded here for Monday's action. Take a look at David Racy. He's got his Monday afternoon MLB winner here. Also, Bo Dunn's got his guaranteed best bet in the major leagues as well. Al Ninos has his Monday Grand Slam locked and loaded, ready to go. Damon Sosh, NBA Vegas Gold 10-star play for a Monday. Joey Tron's MLB Grand Slam is up, ready, and available at Tony'sPicks.com. You also have here the rest of the cappers and their premium picks over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15% off those premium pick packages, including mine here on Monday in MLB, NBA, NHL. As we head into the bulk of the schedule here for the playoff sports, getting ready for the postseason here. Just another 2 weeks here, and we'll be in the postseason in Major League Baseball in full swing there a little bit after the opening weekend. You know, they kind of have a day off in there a little bit, so we're ready to go here with our previews today, and we're going to be mostly focused on the major leagues here as the season continues to open up right now. And then we'll get to our NBA card and NHL here, playing out the string a little bit. Okay, thanks for listening to that, everybody. We're going to get to the action here right now, and let's get to it in the major leagues here on a Monday. Like I said, there is one day game, one official day game anyway in Kansas City, and the way we work it here on Night Moves is I go over the preview of the game, and then you guys are welcome to join me in the chat and give me your picks and best bets here for the action as we go down the card, and I'll give you my picks as well. So let's get into it here and talk about the action here on a Monday with our day game. First up, let's take a look and see what's going on. Did we get everybody in here? We got a dozen of you. I can't wait any longer. All right, here we go. The Minnesota Twins will take on the Kansas City Royals. Day game action here for Monday with the Royals at home. Twins, a little bit of a pitching change here. It'll be Simeon Woods Richardson getting the start here for Minnesota. I mean, not a terrible option here, but Kansas City, a pretty big favorite here, actually, against the Twins in this one. With the Royals $1.55, and the total here is at 9.5 here in this one. Minnesota does have a couple of guys with a little bit of success here against Bubic, but KC bats have stronger volume versus Woods Richardson on the on some of the matchups here with the BVP stats in this one. The Twins bullpen has been shaky so far, 5.56 ERA. They come in 1-2. Kansas City comes in 1-2 as well after the Royals did salvage a game there on Sunday 4-1 over Atlanta to take one of the 3 games. Minnesota, meanwhile, could only manage 1 win in their 3 games at Baltimore over the weekend. So both teams do come in 1-1. I think both starters could be in for a little bit of a rough spot here. It could be a run environment here with a day game here, I think, in this one. I'm looking at the overall matchup between the two with Woods Richardson here on the mound going up against Bubic. Here in this one, it seems like a kind of a tough matchup for some of these Minnesota bats anyway against Bubic. Up and down the lineup really does seem kind of rough, but man, $1.55 also does seem kind of rough to me as well. So go ahead and let's see what you have in the chat here for the action on our day game here. Opening day in Kansas City. Let's just call it what it is. It's a day game here because it's opening day right now between these two teams. Let's see what you guys have in the chat here in this one. I did want to try to see if I could get those BVP numbers complete for you guys and try to rattle them off here a little bit because there definitely is some notable BVP in this game. Even though, when you got division rivals, you're going to have it a little bit more than others. Like I said, Minnesota has had some, definitely some success against Bubic here. You've got Jeffers 4 for 9, Bell 3 for 5, Buxton 5 for 10 in there. But the Kansas City bats against Woods Richardson, we'll see what they can do. You've got a couple guys in here. Is my man Kyle Isbell 3 for 4 with a home run. Lofton, a walk and a hit against him. India 1 for 3 with a double and 2 walks in there. So just because it does feel like a little bit of a high price, but maybe the matchup, but does indeed favor Bubic here in this one. Let's hear from you in the chat. I want to get your plays, and then I'll go next. All right, here we go. We've got Larry is going to start us off, and he likes the under here in this one. Mr. Weskers does like the Twins on the money line. Yeah, it does seem high, but the stats really do kind of favor the Royals here. It's just real tough, I think. It feels like to kind of go in there. But, you saw there, let's see, Tim also on the under here. 9 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams here in Kansas City have gone under, and 14 of the last 17 overall between Minnesota and Kansas City have gone under. So, like I said, yeah, it's been a little bit rough so far for the Twins bullpen. Woods Richardson, it's not as if, he's a bad option. He was just plugged in here to make this start here in this game. Let me see what the injury situation was like here, if I have it. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so Pablo Lopez, he started the season on the injured list here. David Vesta also on the injured list to start. Travis Adams also. So a little bit thin for Minnesota there in the pitching department to kind of start the season right now. So get Woods, Richardson in here. I'll just take the under in this one with Minnesota and Kansas City. Give me the under here. These two teams always go under when they face off against one another. So why not do it here? I'll take the under with Minnesota and Kansas City. All right, and with Tim and Larry in that one. Timmy also says Bobby Witt to get a couple of bases in there. And he's going to team it up with a hockey play. All right, we are into the night action here right now. This is at 6:35 Eastern and 3:35 Pacific with the Rangers on the road taking on Baltimore here. And the Rangers were able to take 2 of 3 in their opening series of the season against the Philadelphia Phillies on the road. Impressively, there they lost the first game 5-3, giving up the long ball, but they came back strong with a couple of wins, 5-4 and 8-3 to start the season 2-1. And they've got Leiter here on the mound for Baltimore. Meanwhile, they were able to grab those 2 games, as we said, against the Minnesota Twins at home here to start the season. Texas has had scattered success. The members of the Rangers lineup who have faced Bassett, but Baltimore's lineup shows consistent contact, really, against Leiter here coming in. So we do have some familiarity as well with these pitchers and hitters for Texas here against Bassett. You've got definitely some guys in here. Peterson, 5 for 3, a couple of home runs. Also, Langford 2 for 4, Smith 2 for 6, Carter 3 for 4, and Duran 1 for 2 as well in there. So definitely some guys who could be in the lineup here with some good numbers going up against Bassett. Leiter's got some guys who tagged him a little bit here as well. Here, but both guys are kind of coming in looking like it could be a tough matchup here. Both offenses could be in for some success here against each other. So let's go to the chat, though, a little bit here. Let me see. Taylor Ward, Blaze Alexander both have a home run off of Jack Leiter here. Let's see how you guys have it in this one with the Rangers and the Orioles here. Man, it does seem like we could see some offense. I'm thinking, let's see what you guys have in this one. However, I'll go to the chat here. And, like I said, we're in the first week of the season. We're going to get some more data points here. But, man, this one feels like an over. Let's see what you guys have in the chat. All right, and Bassett still in there. Bassett still winging it, and he's on the Orioles now. Expected to actually be a pretty important part here, and that's what Timmy says. Look, maybe he will do well in this spot. But Larry says, take the Rangers here on the run line. But I'm going to go over in this one for sure with the Rangers and the Orioles. I got to think we're going to see some runs here with these two on Monday. Next up, Nationals and Phillies, 6:40 Eastern, 3:40 Pacific here. Nationals won 2 of 3 in their opening week action here against the Cubs. Won 6-3 there on Sunday. So the Nationals with a nice surprising start as well, taking down Chicago. For Philadelphia, like I said, they come in 1-2, and Taijuan Walker here going for them up against for the Nationals here. Foster Griffin on the mound here for the Nationals. We're going to look here at Griffin of Washington on Monday. We can't get a little bit more with Griffin here. For Washington, they did end up here basically putting putting up some big numbers over the weekend against these guys. 18 runs against the Cubs overall. Phillies, meanwhile, didn't exactly have a great weekend of pitching there against the Rangers in those final two games. So let's see what you guys have, though, here in this one with the Washington Nationals here taking on the Phillies. It looks like a bit of a pitching mismatch, though, doesn't it? I mean, Philly also has an edge in the bullpen so far, and Washington did have a good weekend. In general, they should have a weak offense, I would think, long term here, and maybe the Phillies $1.65. But maybe if they didn't get off to a slow start, they might be a bigger favorite in this one. I think the game script says Philadelphia could have a bit of a scoring push here. Doesn't seem like an awful spot for the Phillies and a reasonable price. Now, great job this weekend by the Nationals. Got to give them some credit here for what they did, but still, let's see what we got here for Griffin. Man, Griffin, his story is something else, I'll tell you. Hasn't pitched since 2022. He's also seen action in the major leagues as far back here as 2020. So doesn't have a lot of major league experience, but has definitely pitched in the major leagues. But been a while here for Foster Griffin, but he did sign a 1-year, $5.5 million contract with the Nationals. He was over in Japan for the last 2 seasons. He was an all-star last year for the Yomiuri Giants. He went 6-1 with a 1.62 ERA, 77 strikeouts in 76 innings, but maybe he was asking for a little bit too much money. I'm not sure. He did, have a 2-year deal there, but they just decided to part ways there with Yomiuri, and he signed with the Washington Nationals. Maybe he was looking to get over in the major leagues. Obviously, did a pretty good job here, and he's back in the major leagues. So something to consider there in this one, but. Let's see what you have in the chat. I might be with the Phillies here. Let's see. Larry's on the Phillies on the run line. Timmy Two Shoes likes Trey Turner in this one. Power Critters on the Phillies as well. And I'm going to go ahead and take the Phillies here on the run line in this one. Let's see what Foster Griffin, though, has to offer us. I'll take the Phillies, though, minus 1.5. In this one here on Monday. The run line here for the Phillies in this one, minus 1.5 at plus 120, and I'll take them here against the Nationals. Philly's they're 1-2. The Nationals are 2-1 so far. So Sunday had some interesting results here, certainly. All right, let's move on here. Our next one here on the show. The Pittsburgh Pirates and Braxton Ashcraft. He's up here against Chase Burns and the Reds in this one. Interesting pitching matchup here. Now, the Reds won 2 of 3 to open the season. Cincinnati with a couple of wins over Boston. They lost the first game. Were able to come back and win 2 games there. Not a lot of offense in that series, but still, the Reds were able to get it done. The Bucks, meanwhile, lost the first 2 games against the New York Mets, but did bounce back with a win there, 4-3 in the third game of the series. The Reds are favored here, $1.30, and the total 8 here in this one for Pittsburgh. Look, they're going to have to keep down here some of these guys. For Cincinnati, they've got some guys here who have had some success against Braxton Ashcraft. Friedel, Caratini, and Hayes all have some success here in the batter versus pitcher. Let me see here. You got also here for Pardon me here real quick. No, I'm lost. Seem to have lost my hope I'm on here. Okay, yep, we are there. Okay, yeah, some good numbers here for sure. These Cincinnati hitters have shown some success, certainly against Ashcraft here. You've got guys in this lineup that have shown some numbers. Like I said, Hayes 2 for 3. Friedel has a double against him as well. Really got several guys in here in this Reds lineup that have been able to touch Ashcraft a little bit. So I look at the Pirates bullpen's kind of mid-tier, it feels like so far, but like I said, didn't see a whole lot of runs from the offenses necessarily. Yes, Pittsburgh did get 4 runs there, and they did score 7 in that opener too, remember, but I'm going to end up with the under in this game with Ashcraft and Burns here at 8 runs. Give me the under in this one, despite those Cincinnati hitters. They're pretty good numbers against Pittsburgh here, but I wonder if Pittsburgh, how much success they'll have against Chase Burns, actually. I'm going to take the under in this one. And we'll look at the comments from the chat. And it's going to be Pirates money line here for Larry. And I think Power Critter is going to do the same thing. All right, next up will be the White Sox here taking on the Marlins. And we got a Chris Paddock sighting. He found a home here in Miami right now. And for the White Sox here, Davis Martin, the White Sox are back to being the White Sox here with 3 consecutive losses here to start the season. You know, they weren't terrible in that. They had moments in that series yesterday, but got blown out of the first 2 games by the score of 30-3 combined. Lost the Sunday game 9-7, so they were able to put up some runs. Like I said, Miami comes in here. Yeah, they were playing the Colorado Rockies, but hey, they're 3-0. They outscored them 10-7 with good pitching, actually, in that series for Miami. And you have Paddock going here, like I said, against Davis Martin here in this one. Let's see how you have it with the White Sox and the Marlins here. The White Sox bullpen has been catastrophic, as I said, with these big runs that they gave up. I think they have a 12.51 ERA. So any Chicago game here, you might got to worry. How long can Davis Martin go, and how soon do they get in the bullpen? Miami didn't put up a lot of runs here, and they're not going to have the best offense going. But you've got to consider here their hot streak to start the season at 3-0. You got to give them a lot of credit here, actually, to get off to such a good start. Not a bad matchup for some of these White Sox, like Medroth and Vargas and Hayes in here against Chris Paddock. But, you know, Paddock probably could have a pretty good matchup against this bottom 10 White Sox lineup here in this one. So let's see how you guys have it here with the White Sox taking on the Marlins here in Florida. See if you guys have any picks. I'm going to go with the over in this one, but Larry's going with the under. Man, I've got almost all totals so far. Typical Ramon right now. All right, I'm going over in this one. All right, but Larry's going under. That's all right. Next up, the Rockies are on the road taking on the Blue Jays. We got 7 interleague series here underway on Monday, so definitely some interesting games here. You got Sugano is now with Colorado here. Tomoyuki Sugano, starting pitcher here for the Rockies. And for Toronto here, you've got Cody Ponce going on the mound here in this one. Huge number here for Toronto. They start the season hot, 3-0. Great job by Toronto to sweep the A's there. Won the game on Sunday 5-2. Meanwhile, for Colorado, it was a lost weekend in Miami there, starting the season 0-3. We already did a diatribe on them a little bit, saying how they never hey, they went out and got Sugano. Maybe that'll help, but man, 260, no matter how you look at it, 1 week into the season, it's got to be a little bit nauseating for Rockies fans here. Just a massive talent gap here, a bullpen gap. The Rockies offense, uh, weak so far, that's for sure. This is a blowout script. I mean, I don't know how else you could say it here. It should be one-sided in this game. I mean, it's baseball, anything can happen, but it's hard to find any advantages here in this particular matchup with the Rockies taking on the Blue Jays today. Rockies, even dating back to last season, they hadn't won on the road in a couple, uh, uh, at all, basically. But they've also lost their last 5 games when they played Toronto. And also, 7 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams have gone over here. Just going to take Toronto on the run line here at -1.5. In this one, I think it's -120 here. So I don't know. You got some square plays here, but this feels like the play of the day, actually. I don't see how Toronto doesn't come in here ready to go and fired up for this one after the home sweep of the A's. Here comes the Rockies. They can lick their chops and get off to a great start this season. Hey, it's baseball. Anything can happen, but I'm going to go ahead and lay it with Toronto here. What can you do? See if the chat agrees. Timmy is going to go with the under, I believe, in this. Oh, no, and Larry's going to go over. Okay, well. Next up, we've got the Athletics on there. The Athletics here on the road, taking on the Braves, and only $1.40 here in this one. But does that say more about where the Braves are at or where the A's are at coming in? The A's, of course, got swept at Toronto, but for Atlanta here, they did win 2 of 3 against Kansas City, 6-0 and 6-2. They lost the Sunday finale 4-1, but the Braves are just $1.40 against this Athletics team coming in. The A's have a pretty interesting bullpen so far. They've actually been pretty competitive out of the bullpen, but the Atlanta lineup and the overall ceiling does feel pretty strong here in this game. I don't think we're going to see a terrible outing. We got Bryce Elder here going for the Braves. You've got Jacob Lopez for the Athletics here in this one. I think we're going to get a little bit of good pitching here in this one, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Braves. I think this is a reasonable number here at $1.40 against the Athletics here, and I'll take Atlanta here in this one on Monday. Hey, you want to say hello to Real for Kev? He's ready for the hockey preview. We'll be there eventually. And let's see here. Timmy says, let's see, Toronto for Richie back in that other game. Let's see, here we go. Larry says A's and Braves. He wants to go over in this one. All right. I was thinking the other, man, me and Larry, I don't know if we're clicking here. And Timmy says he's going to go with the Braves as well here with Elder on the mound. The Athletics are just 5-15 against the Braves in the last 20 meetings between the two teams overall. Atlanta's won 8 of their last 9 at home against the Athletics. Now, when we talk about this is, when you're talking about 9 games at home against them, that is a pretty long sample size, actually. But these franchises have probably been over the last decade as well, because that's about what you're talking about there anyway. 8 or 9 years, but still 8-1. All right, and I think that's going to do it for that one. Here are the Angels on the road taking on the Cubs on Monday. For the Angels here, they had a 4-game series to open the season, remember, as they were taking on the Houston Astros. They won the first 2 games, but lost the last 2. The pitching really got away from them. After winning the first 2 games, 3-0 and 6-2, they lost the next 2, 11-9 and 9-7 here. And they'll have Ryan Johnson on the mound here in this one. Meanwhile, for the Cubs here, the Cubs didn't get off to a great start either, just 1-2, losing those 2 games to Washington. So look, the Cubs, they spend a little more money. They're supposed to have better results, but credit Washington there for getting off to a pretty good start to the season against them right now. For the Cubs here in this one, get the notes here if I can with this one. All right. 6 of the last 8 meetings between these 2 teams here have gone under when they've played at Wrigley. 7 of the last 8 games overall between the 2 teams have gone under. The Angels have lost 5 of their last 6 games overall against the Cubs. So let's see how you guys though have this one between the Angels and the Cubs. For the Cubs here, it is going to be Edward Cabrera on the mound, and look, $1.80 here. Yeah, maybe the Angels here off to an okay start, going 2-2 in those 4 games against the Astros here. But let's see what the chat says here in this one. Cubs money line for Larry might be it for you guys here. All right, I got to make my call here in this one. This one I was kind of torn on a little bit, so I'll see what you guys have. But I'm going to go ahead and take the over in this one with the Angels and the Cubs. Maybe I should check the conditions a little bit, but let's see what we got there. Wind blowing out to left field, 10 miles an hour. Temperatures about 70 degrees. I'll take the over in this one with the Angels and the Cubs. Next up, the Rays are at the Brewers here. Action for Monday. Nick Martinez is on the mound here for the Rays. The Rays went 1-2 in their opening series again this season against the Cardinals. They did salvage that 3rd game for Milwaukee. Meanwhile, great weekend over the White Sox. As we said, they outscored them 29-10 to sweep them there in that one. And for the Brewers here, they'll have Kyle Harrison on the mound for this one. And Milwaukee's bullpen has been outstanding so far, 0.61 ERA. Meanwhile, the Tampa Bay bullpen, 11.32. So I think the Brewers, that's pretty good here. They're $1.45, $1.49, $1.50 here in this one. I don't want to get too much higher than that, but I think this is where it's going to go here right now. Now, we'll see what happens with Tampa. I'm sure they're going to be better than 11.32 ERA, and they may even be better in this game. We may actually get a little bit of a low-scoring game here, I think, between these two. But I think the better play here is just going to be Milwaukee, I guess, on the money line. Let me see. You guys got anything here in this one? And let's see here. Rich is here. He's got Milwaukee here. So does Larry. You guys are on Milwaukee in this one. And $1.50. I mean, I can't disagree here necessarily. All right, let me see here. Okay, I'll make my call here in this one. I've got it. Yeah, I'm going under here for sure. Give me the under with the Rays and the Brewers. The bullpen's gonna shape up here eventually. I gotta go under in this one. All right, Timmy's going over. Man, no one's agreeing with me on any of the totals today. All right, watch out. That's my specialty. Okay, here we go. Next up. Okay, Clay Holmes. Now I'm getting my Holmes right. Clay Holmes going here for the Mets, going up against for the Kyle Leahy here for the Cardinals here in this one. The Mets $1.50 favorite. on the road here. Looks like a closer game than maybe the line indicates, but St. Louis's bullpen's been pretty shaky here so far. 10.39 ERA, some late innings chaos feels like here with possible in this one with Holmes and Leahy here. I might have to go to another total here right now because I don't know if the uh, Cardinal bullpen, this might be more of a sign of things to come. It feels like between these two, but I don't know. The Sharps are probably going to be on the under here, so maybe the Mets are the best way to play this, even at $1.55. It does seem pretty reasonable here, even on the road with Holmes pitching in this one. And like I said, the Cardinals were able to have a okay series there against Tampa Bay, despite all those runs scored. And it's pretty warm here too in St. Louis. There may have been something to that there with that, but maybe they can suppress the runs a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and take the Mets here in this one on the road. $1.55, not very comfortable here, but I'm going to go ahead and lay it with the Mets here on the road. Let's see what the chat says. All right, nothing in that game. Okay, I'll just keep it moving here. Red Sox taking on the Astros in this one. You've got Suarez here going for the Red Sox here in this one for Ranger Suarez. New setting here. Boston did go 1-2 in their opening series, as we said there, and wasn't great, no doubt about it, against the Reds, losing on the road. But Houston split that series with Anaheim, and they'll have Lance McCullers in here going. So look, I think for the Astros here, this is not a bad play. This might be some value here with McCullers. They might have some good structure here right now to start the season. I wouldn't be too disappointed at 2-2. I think Houston, if they're winning here, it's going to be a game that they can kind of suppress the scoring a little bit. But I think at minus $1.05 here, maybe the Astros going to get my call. Let's see if you guys have anything in this one in the chat. I'm sorry if I'm going a little too fast here in this one, but I want to hear from you. Here we go in this one with the Red Sox and the Astros. Rich is going over here in this one, but Timmy likes the under, says good pitchers here, and that might be it from you guys in this one here. I'm going to go ahead and take the Astros here in this one at home over the Red Sox. I'll take McCullers in this one. All right, the Giants and Landon Root going up against the Padres and Walker Buehler here in San Diego. The Giants were just swept to open the season. Not a great series there against the Yankees. They could only manage one run in 3 games. The Yankees pitching was tremendous. Giants did hold those big bats down. They did score 13 runs in 3 games, but 7 came in that opener. The Padres, meanwhile, lost 2 of 3 at home against the Detroit Tigers, so it didn't go well there either for my Padres. But I think the Padres probably have the edge with this lineup here currently. Probably not a huge mismatch, certainly, but look, I think there's going to be some balanced pitching here in this one with Roop and Buehler. And I'm going to go ahead and probably take the under here in this one between the Padres and the Giants. Let's see what you have tonight. And, I really like the under here for sure in this one. Let's see what the chat has. Yep, under for Timmy in this one. I'm going to go with Timmy here. Give me the under there. And don't these guys always play low-scoring games when the Padres and the Giants? Isn't it 3-1, 4-2? Let's see. Well, in the series here so far, let's see. They played a series back in August. It was 8-4, 8-1, and 5-1. The Padres swept the Giants there in that one. All right. Rich is going over here, but Larry says go under. I did. I went with the under in this one. All right, we're still going here on our Major League card with some picks here. We've got the Yankees and the Mariners, and a good one here in Seattle. Good series here with the Yankees coming in with that perfect record so far, sweeping the Giants. Now coming up here, meanwhile, for Seattle, like we said, they opened up against Cleveland there. It was a 4-game set, and they split the 4 games, went back and forth. Cleveland, let's see, Cleveland won the first game 6-4. Then Seattle came back with a 5-1 win. Then Cleveland came back with a 6-5 win. Then Seattle won there on Sunday night 8-0. Definitely took care of business in that game on Sunday Night Baseball last night. But here the Mariners come in here with Luis Castillo on the mound. And, he's going to have probably a pretty good success here in his career against this Yankees line, against some of these guys in this Yankee lineup for Castillo here. Yeah, good numbers. Yankees are 29 of 136 for just a 213 batting average against the veteran. 301 OBP, 700 OPS, 6 home runs in those 136 at-bats, but just 15 walks and 41 strikeouts facing these Yankee bats. So, look, this is probably a typical Seattle pitching environment. I know we did see some high-scoring games up there, but I think here with Weathers going here for the Yankees, look, I don't know if it's a dip down. They can probably work with Weathers a little bit. I've always, I like, sons of major league pitchers. I know Weathers has kind of turned into, a veteran here that really hasn't accomplished a whole lot, but does have plenty of innings in the major leagues here with this one. I think this is probably under City actually, but let's see if you guys have any pick here in this one with the Yankees and the Mariners. All right, let's see here in the chat. Under for Rich. Timmy's on the Yankees there, I think. And I'm going to take the under here for sure in this one with the Yankees and the Mariners. All right. And Timmy says he thinks Weathers will have an iffy start. He'll take Seattle at a decent money line play instead. Actually, Weathers had an iffy. In spring training, was it, Tim? What do you got there? All right, I guess that's it though for that one, and I'll take the under though. Next up, the Tigers are going to continue their West Coast swing here, taking on the Diamondbacks. Detroit 2-1 so far with the series against the Padres. Meanwhile, for Arizona, 0-3 start against the Dodgers, of course. They were outscored in that series 16-8 as the Dodgers doubled them up there. So Arizona starts the season here with an 0-3 record. It'll be Soroka on the mound here for the Diamondbacks up against Verlander back with the Tigers here. Should be good there. Detroit's bullpen's been very, very strong, but Arizona's got a slightly better offense. It feels like so far. Both bullpens have been pretty strong here coming into this one. Dare I say, I might be on a lot of unders on Monday. What do you guys have? Anything in the chat here? Might just be on the under here again, although I don't mind the Diamondbacks here, despite Detroit looking pretty good in the bullpen so far. Let's see what we got. Nothing here, I don't think. Okay, there's Rich. Detroit and the over there. Okay. All right. And let's see. Larry on the Tigers, Diamondbacks under, though. Jimmy says he's not sure about Verlander this early in the season. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take the Diamondbacks here in this one at $1.15. Give me Arizona in this one. And one more tonight in the major leagues. The Guardians are taking on the Dodgers here. It'll be Roki Sasaki here for the Dodgers, and for the Guardians, it'll be Parker Messick here going in this one. Dodgers went 3-0. Cleveland went 2-2 here to start the season. For the Dodgers, obviously top tier team here. Cleveland going to be a little bit overmatched tonight. The Dodgers can generate a lot of runs here. I would think this could I have actually won over tonight? Probably, but let's see what you have. Maybe the run line is probably the way to go here, but I'm just going to go with the over. I think I'm not going to mess with a run line just yet. Give me the over in this one between the Guardians and the Dodgers. I'm taking the over. All right. Jimmy says, yeah, you got to go over here in this one. All right, let's look at the major leagues here. 15 games, and yep, first week of the season. Let's get these first starts out of the way for each pitcher, see how we're doing. But I think got a mix there, 50-50 of totals and sides, so should be a pretty good card. Cleveland here for Rich. And I appreciate the contributions there from the chat. Okay. We've got NBA action here for a Monday. We're going to go over the card here. I think we've got I think every game is lined up to be previewed here on the NBA card on Monday night. I think every game involves some teams at least going to the postseason. So let's take a look at what we got. The Philadelphia 76ers playing pretty well here into the stretch drive, taking on Miami, who's kind of cooled off here a little bit all of a sudden. Like we said it every show, but we know all the teams are in the playoffs. It's just a matter of where they're going to finish. The Heat right now are tied for 9th place with the Hornets. You want to get to 8th if you can. 76ers are in 7th. That's usually good enough to send you into the playoffs, but they still could move up. They're only a half a game behind the Hawks for 6th place, and they are favored in this game on the road here. Maybe because they're playing pretty well. Winners of 2 straight and 4 of 5 here. They beat Chicago. They beat Charlotte, cover the spread in both those. Philly's an excellent spread team on the road, 23-12, also 24-15 against the spread as a favorite. Meanwhile, for Miami, though, they are 22-14 as an underdog. They're going to be an underdog, actually, here in this one. Miami 22-15, also to the over as an underdog, and Philadelphia 23-16 to the over as a favorite. What do you guys think of this one? Here, definitely teams involving, trying to improve their playoff seeding and positioning. Philadelphia is trending pretty strong here, 4-1 against the spread and straight up over the last 5. Miami, they're kind of in a collapse mode if you think about it. 1-7 straight up, 2-6 against the spread in those 8 games. So the head-to-head does favor Miami, but the current form is Philadelphia here over Miami in that one. Miami games are attract me right now. 7 of the last 8 have gone over. The number is high, but the pace and defensive drop-off probably justifies this big number. We've been right, when we've gone over on these big numbers a little bit. And, man, I would think this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game. We've already seen these two teams play some high scores recently. Philadelphia just played the Bulls a couple of games ago, 294 points in that one. The Charlotte game was 232, although it landed right on the number. And for Miami, like I said, their games have been out of control. They just played the Pacers the other night, last night, 135-118. We went over in that one, and you have them on the back-to-back here. So let's see, though, what you think. Philly does come in rested here. All right. See if the chat does anything here. Oh, yeah, got to look at these injuries. Normie Powell, uh, I believe he's already been ruled out of this game, but I'm not too worried about that. I mean, it just seems like right now the Heat, and this is probably the problem for the Heat in the long run here. Uh, let's see here. Rich is going over. Larry says 76ers are at full strength. They'll be an easy win, but he likes the under. Philly here for Rich Stubbs, and Tim likes the matchup in there. Powell is questionable. Let me make it clear here. He's not officially out yet here in this one. So I got to go over in this one with Philadelphia and Miami. Give me the over. Man, I might be on all totals here, but that's my specialty. Here we go. Next up. Now the Celtics are on the road here against the Hawks, and the Hawks are favored here. It might be one. It might be one. DraftKings is at 1.5, but it might not be a great matchup here for Boston, even though they've won 3 in a row here right now over OKC, Atlanta, and yesterday Charlotte won 14-99. Now Atlanta had the day off, so they've come in here rested. The Celtics won, like we said, on the road at Charlotte, and now have to travel down here to Atlanta. So hey, they're still Boston. We had them yesterday in that game, even though we've kind of been riding with Charlotte. We took Boston yesterday, but today probably a little bit different here. Atlanta 13-4 against the spread. They're on a 15-2 heater straight up right now. Boston struggles against Atlanta against the spread, just 3-6 ATS in the last 9. Now, the Celtics have been trending under for sure for their last 5, and the head-to-head between these two teams also has been an under here when Atlanta plays Boston. 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams have gone under, and Atlanta does have some overs here of late in 4 of their last 5, but Boston's gone under in 4 of their last 5. So I'm going to go with the under here in this one with Boston and Atlanta. I'm trying to get on these overs a little bit late in the season. And this one's at, 222 there on the screen. And yeah, pretty much 222 overall. The teams just met here 3 days ago, right? And it was 109-102. Boston got the win at home in an under in that one. The meeting in January also went under 117-106. It went under by 9 points in that one. So I'm going to go with the under here in this one. All right, let's see here. Timmy says you got still these injuries for Boston right now with Jaylen Brown. It said yesterday, we nailed that yesterday right here, even on the show. And, we have some people coming in, not our regulars, but are, saying, they were concerned. They wanted to wait. We told you. We said Brown probably not going to play because of, it's an Achilles injury. You got to be careful. But, we talked about the other personnel, and they were pretty much good to go. So, yeah, I think this will be okay. We'll see. Kuminga is probable, though, here for Atlanta. That's good. Good for him. Let's see. Larry on the under. Timmy's going to take the Celtics here. Rich is on Atlanta. All right. Here we go. Next up. The Suns are taking on the Grizzlies here in the Tankathon. You got Phoenix coming in here, pretty big favorite. They might be up to 13.5 now. I'm going to call it. Yeah, I'm going to call it. I'll call it 13. The sharp books are on 12.5. The square books are on 13.5. I'll split the difference here and call it 13 for now with the Suns on the road. They've won 2 of 3. Memphis won last time out. You got to consider that. Memphis here got to win over Chicago a couple of nights ago, 125-124, but they were a 5-point dog, got it done. Phoenix, meanwhile, just crushed Utah, 134 to 109 last time out. So, yeah, big favorite here for Phoenix. Some of these numbers can be difficult to amass here right now. Like we said, like with the Clippers yesterday, you just see it going up and up and up, and you're wondering how much pressure can you actually take on some of these teams that are playing in the Tankathon. But Memphis is 2-13 straight up in their last 15. The Suns are 4-1 against the spread. They do play Memphis pretty tough when they've been in competitive games, at least in the past. You got to think this is, under City, I would think here with these two. Memphis and Phoenix have gone under in 5 of their last 6, and the Suns have definitely been trending here to the under as a favorite, 15-20 to the under overall here. And not only that for Phoenix, under in 4 of their last 6. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go ahead and take the Suns in the Tankathon to get the cover on the road. I hope it doesn't go up too much higher than this, but I'm going to take the Suns in this one and lay it against Memphis. All right, let's see if the chat has anything here. Larry's on the Suns. Rich is on the under in this one. And Timmy says he wanted to play the Suns, but maybe it's too big. There's Mad Sushi Maker today, Memphis and over. Hello to Mad Sushi Maker. You'd think a sushi maker would be happy, though, because, sushi makes you happy. Okay, and Timmy says, don't forget that Memphis injury report. And, man, that thing's been a mess here for days, hasn't it? With all these injuries, Memphis and the Tankathon. In fact, I mentioned the 12.5s in the square books. They've just moved here within the last couple of minutes up there as well. So, okay, yeah, for Memphis, Clayton, questionable. Giroux, questionable. Small, doubtful. OMP, doubtful. Gibson, doubtful. Wells out. Jerome out. Clark is still out. Oh, he's out for the season, of course. Talking about all those guys, man. Aldama, Ja, Pippen, just as Tony would say, fire the training staff. Hendricks is probable. Spencer is probable here. I'll take Phoenix. Phoenix did have some guys on the injury report as well. Mark Williams out. Highsmith out. Coffee out as well. Got a G League game here, it seems like. All right, next up, you got the Bulls taking on the Spurs here in this one. The Spurs up 18 here in the Tankathon tonight. And the Bulls here lost 3 straight right now and did cover one game against powerful OKC, getting 19.5 points. So you could compare that one. They were on the road there, got the money, so maybe they could do it again here for the Spurs. Meanwhile, they've won and covered 3 in a row. They've just covered back-to-back games, laying 17.5 on the road. Now they're doing it at home. But they beat Memphis 123 to 98, and then beat Milwaukee 127 to 95. So they didn't have any problem laying the big number and getting the big easy cover there in those matchups. A massive number. Spurs have won 8 in a row. Chicago does have a good series history against these guys, 6-1 straight up and against the spread, actually, against the Spurs. This is one matchup where they've actually done pretty well. Both teams have been trending over in this matchup, but with the blowout risk, that does put the total possibly in jeopardy. You do have San Antonio 25-31 to the under as a favorite here. I know the short-term trends kind of point to the over, but long-term it kind of feels more like an under because of what the Spurs do in general. So I'm going to go ahead and take here the under in this one with the Bulls and the Spurs. Give me the under here. It should still be a blowout here. The Bulls have won 6 of the last 7, whatever, but that doesn't take into account what's going on here these days. I mean, these guys play twice a year, so see what we got here in this one. Bulls plus 18. It's going to be embarrassing, says Larry, but Power Critter wants them, and Mad Sushi Maker is going to go with the under, and Timmy also going with the under here. Yeah, lot of, to me, it's always the same. I mean, blowout is under, but some people think blowout can be over. It's all depending on those teams, I guess, right? So, but interesting that Chicago's won 6 of 7 against the Spurs. You almost have to maybe consider them in a backdoor. I know these Spurs have been awesome, no doubt about it. Everybody knows that. Hello to Fernando Montoya in the chat. Hi, Fernando. Good to have you in the chat there. Next up, the Timberwolves taking on the Mavs here in this one. You got the Wolves favored on the road here. Dallas has lost all these games at home right now, but they did finally win last time out, albeit on the road at Portland, 193. They've had a couple of days off here. Minnesota comes in off of a 109-87 loss to Detroit here in this one, but Dallas has lost, I think, 12 straight games at home. That's almost auto fade here for a single-digit spread, it feels like. Minnesota has won 5 straight meetings against these guys. Minnesota's gone under in 6 of their last 7, and the series kind of trends under here as well. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone under here with these two. So I think that's what I'm going to do, actually. Man, I got too many unders here for someone that says they're going to go over the rest of the season. But with the Wolves here on the road get a short number, I think to me that indicates here that it's going to be Dallas having a real problem here reaching their team total here. I mean, it's going to be about 115, 114 and a half. And I don't know. It's going to be hard for Dallas to reach that number, I think. I'm going to take the under in this one. Jimmy says the total's kind of moved up a little bit to 236. So Larry's on the Wolves here. Money line. They should take care of business in this one. All right. And Timmy says it could be. I believe Ant. I believe it's real good news here for Ant today. Upgraded to questionable. I believe Edwards plays in this game. Minnesota right now, kind of ignoring the standings a little bit here today because everyone's kind of locked into their little area, right? We know Minnesota right now tied with the Rockets, but I don't know if they're going to get to 4th place on those Nuggets right now with a 6-game winning streak. So it looks like the Wolves are not going to have any home court advantage here to get rolling in the playoffs once we get there. We'll see. Like I said, they're battling the Rockets for the 5th place and 6th place spots here. So, all right, I'm going to take the under in that one. Did you miss me? Got a phone call coming in. All right, next up. Well, we got another tankathon game here with the Cavaliers taking on the Jazz. But, before you look too far, I mean, the Jazz sometimes get this number here so far. They've been in the tankathon for so long, we can almost kind of compare it a little bit. But for Cleveland, they are playing pretty well. Winning games, not necessarily getting the money every time, but they did just blast Miami 148-128 in revenge for a loss to them a couple of days earlier. And they've been playing pretty well, but Cleveland still has poor spread record, 21-39 against the spread as a favorite. The Jazz aren't great, but they are 19-19 ATS at home. So look, the Cavs are just 2-5 against the spread in their last 7. Yes, Utah is awful straight up. We know that 16-51 straight up as a dog, but what can you say? It's an inflated spread due to the tankathon, and a lot of times I want to play in the tankathon, but I'm gonna probably take Utah in this game. They just not competing every time in their tankathon games. In fact, of late, it's been pretty bad. They just lost to Phoenix 134-109, but they did cover against Denver, getting 19.5 on the road, 135-129. So I'm going to say this one, Cleveland doesn't have the put it over the top mode. I'm going to take Utah here plus 18.5. I'm taking the dog in this one. All right, let's see here. Timmy says, he has a prop there in the Dallas game. Um, Larry says Cavs money line and under there. Uh, all right, and Timmy says Harden's going to get open and make those threes, 4 of them. Wow. All right, I'll take the Jazz though. Next up, the Pistons are going to take on the Thunder here in this one, and um, the Thunder played late, and the books did issue the line. There are plenty of lines out there. 13 and a half. Now, look, we're going to see tomorrow for sure. Detroit uh, definitely has issues here because Duran is going to miss the game, I believe. And he's the man you want in there, uh, right now. Yes, you want Cade, but you definitely need Duran in there. So, but the Thunder are on the back to back, and they played pretty late there on Sunday night, right in that game. So also Asar Thompson questionable, Duncan Robinson doubtful, Tobias Harris doubtful, and Stewart still out. Meanwhile, for the Thunder, they're virtually clear on the injury report. So this is a real fine line here because you're getting the Pistons here. It's just not. You wish it was a little bit better because you got the two best teams in their respective conferences here on Peacock, but Detroit's going to be shorthanded here in the game. They still, I don't know, still a lot of points. They're a very good team. They're not, awful beyond their star players. They're going to have some bench in here, but going to be relying on other players here today. It feels like here, like probably Herter and Thompson and Holland in this one. So, you know what? Will the Thunder also have all of their, I mean, they'll have their players, but are they going to really be going forward here? They're currently holding off the Spurs by 2.5 games. So, still important because the Spurs, they're not losing any games anytime soon. They're on that 8-game winning streak here right now. Spurs have, the Thunder, no chance of, falling behind into third place or anything. And they, 2.5 games here with, we're down here now to the final 8 games of the season for a lot of these teams right now. 7, 8, 9 games. So even 2.5 games is a lot to make up. So Pistons here. I'm probably going to go the total. Let's see what you guys have in this one. Detroit 5-1 against the spread, 6-1 straight up their last 7. They're in elite form, but the personnel is the issue. Remember, Oklahoma City. Don't forget they don't cover the spread. They're right. They're 4-12, I think, in the last 16 ATS. So look, Oklahoma City is a heavy under team right now. They've gone under in 10 of their last 14. This is an interconference series, but the series is an under series when these two teams have played. 6 of the last 8 meetings have gone under. I'll go on. Man, I've got a lot of unders here for. But with the totals have been moved higher, but still, this one's at 219, so it does show you, I think, a little bit that it is expected to be kind of a tighter game. 219.5 right now, so just an interesting game there. You wish it was better set up for everyone, but maybe we'll get these two teams. Maybe this will be the NBA Finals. All right, let's see here. Timmy says Detroit's mailing this one in. Larry says take the Thunder. You got the big players out there for Detroit, right? We saw it in the last game when they ruled that Duran was in. We went with Detroit immediately. We we put it as a premium, a late steamer on Tony's, I think it was, and once Duran was in, but he's doubtful right now. But I mean, he is doubtful, not doubtful like he might play. He's doubtful, and he's not going to play. It would, I believe, take some type of be a big surprise. All right, the last one here is the Wizards and the Lakers here in the Tankathon. And the Lakers have been doing a good job in their tankathon games, actually covering some big numbers here of late. Um, um, Although last time out against Brooklyn, they did not get it done. They've actually failed to cover in four straight right now. In fact, they beat Brooklyn by 17, but they're favored by 18 and a half. I don't want to belittle the there. That was really their tankathon game, and they beat Indiana by 7. They were favored by 8.5. So they are getting a little bit of the short end of the stick there a little bit, but they're still 27 and 18 as a favorite against the spread, and Washington 30 and 39 against the spread as an underdog, 14 and 23 against the spread on the road. Both these teams definitely over trending here right now. Lakers offense should do most of the scoring here, but Washington 21 and 16 to the over on the road. Lakers 21 and 15 to the over at home here. So still the tankathon game here with these Lakers right now, and Washington still lost 18 of their last 19. They've lost 12 of their last 13 on the road. The Lakers have won 8 straight at home, 11 of their last 12 overall here. And you've got to pick one side or the other in the tankathon, and I think the Lakers will be the side for me. I'll take the Lakers minus 15.5. Okay, and let's see here. Yep, and Luka going to be suspended for this one after he finally got that 16th technical. Hey, you already appealed one time. You can't do it again here, so Luka's going to have to miss this one. And that's about it for the Lakers, I think. Smart is out as well. Thero is out, but for the Wizards here, Sarr, questionable. Johnson, questionable. George, questionable. Carrington, questionable. And the other guys were out. So, all right. Wizard says he's going to take him just because Luka is out. And Timmy says Hachimura will knock it down against his former team. Don't forget. That's it for the NBA. And still, we got some hockey here. 5-game card. I think we're looking at them all here. Let's see what we got now on the ice for Monday night. All right, the Pens are going to be at the Islanders to start us off in this one. You got the Islanders, $1.20 total, 6 over 25 here, maybe even some 6.5, but does feel like it's trending over here a bit in this one right now. The Islanders are 12 and 6 in their last 18 games, 4-1. Their last 5 at home, playing pretty stable hockey here right now. Talking about the Islanders, Pittsburgh's kind of been trending over, but just 2-4 straight up in their last 6 games. The Islanders have won 6 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams overall coming in. Pittsburgh's gone over in 11 of their last 12 and 6 straight on the road, actually coming into this one. Man, also here, 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone over. The Islanders are trending just a little bit under here of late for sure. 6 of their last 9 overall, but the pace of these two when they meet right now, I mean, these are pretty frequent opponents here. So I'm going to take the over here in this one with the Penguins and the Islanders. Give me the over tonight with this one. Okay, and in the chat, and let's see here, Timmy's favorite player in there every game. Larry says Penguins and Islanders. He likes the over as well in this one. Okay, next up, Calgary's on the road. We got mostly a late card here out west, so we do have Calgary taking on the Avs here. The big 325 number here total is 6. Flat pretty much everywhere. Maybe a little bit of juice to the over here. I see some 6.5 under 30s out there as well coming into this one. Calgary's on a 1-6 road skid right now in a brutal matchup history, of course, with Colorado. They've been lost 7 of the last 8 between the two teams. Colorado, 106 points, looking good right now. The Flames, of course, they win at home. They don't do very well on the road. So you got to agree with even on this one here. Hey, the price isn't awful. The price is right. Almost said the funny line from the movie. But Colorado only minus $1.40 on the puck line here today. I think I want to do that. But take Colorado here on the puck line today against Calgary in this one on the road. I don't want to call it a no-brainer play. And I'm also seeing some of the square books have moved this game very, very high right now. I'm showing some offshore books as high as 390 in this one. Power that's probably enough for a sharp like Power Critter to take a little sprinkle. Larry says go under in this one, and Timmy says Makar to get a goal at 3-1 here. I'll go ahead and lay it though with the Avalanche right now. Like I said, get it a sharp book here at $1.40 or less there, because when you see the sharp book already at 390 overnight, you're definitely gonna see some of the other books follow anyway. The sharp books are at 325 or so. So I think we have that on the screen as 325, but one major offshore square book was at 390 at the time of this recording. The Vancouver Canucks are going to take on the Vegas Golden Knights. NHL action here on a Monday night, and big news here. I'm in Vegas, and we did have a coach firing here actually on Sunday, as the Golden Knights had fired their coach late. I want to say late last night. It felt like at about late afternoon here for the Golden Knights. So right with 8 games here left in the season, they fire Bruce Cassidy and bring in John Tortorella. So look, the Golden Knights still have what it takes to win. They better. I mean, I've got a futures on them in both the conference and the Stanley Cup, but a major coaching shakeup here with just basically 8 games to go right now, and the Knights fired their coach tonight. I mean, a championship coach here. Fired there, and they'll have to move on here. Also, St. Louis, by the way, did fire their hockey operations director, and some of their scouting department was asked also to leave, I think. So, but for Vegas, it does feel like a pretty big deal here right now. And yeah, they're still a $3 favorite tonight. They should handle the business, I'm sure, against the Canucks here, I would guess tonight. Vancouver 0-5 in their last 5, 1-11 their last 12 on the road. Vegas is cold though. They've lost 6 of their last 7. This is the get right matchup. This is the timing. If you're going to change coaches right now, you better have a blowout opponent. Maybe it's not that strong due to the form here currently, but it's still hard, right? Because Vegas has struggled pretty bad here, and you're still got to lay $3 here, or $3.50. I'm showing at some books right now here, but I do think they're gonna. I just have a feeling they'll come out right, get it right here for one night at least with Tortorella, and they're gonna need him. They're gonna need something here a little bit. So Vegas has gone under in 12 of their last 16. 4 of the last 5 have gone under, but Vancouver is definitely kind of going over here of late. They're a big time over. We know that here right now. So let's see though if you got anything in the chat right now. Both teams are cold, but Vancouver 34-27 to the over as an underdog. Vegas 21-16 to the over at home here. But I'm going to go ahead and take Vegas here on a puck line tonight. Yeah, I know I'm laying these big favorites of the puck line, but I'm going to play the storyline here a little bit in this one due to the coaching change, and they'll have to get it straight here with the postseason coming, because they have not been playing well. All right, Larry's on the Golden Knights, and even if it is, Torch says, Timmy, it's supposed to be a big move here to get a guy like Tortorella there to take over, right? But Adorofayev for a goal in there, and yeah, right. Oh no, is it going to be a disaster here in Vegas? I'll take him for one night. I'm going to take him here. Got some square plays here tonight, but sometimes the storyline's too much to ignore, I guess. All right, the Maple Leafs are taking on the Ducks here, and another $2 favorite here in this one, but probably man, the Ducks here, they did lose last time out, let's be fair, but they were winning some games there. They were on another winning streak. Did lose to Edmonton on the road 4-2, but before that had wins against Utah, Buffalo, Vancouver, and Calgary. Easy matchups there pretty much, but still we're winning the games they're supposed to win. And given their standing here right now, man, I kind of want to just lay more puck lines because that's what we do here anyway. Anaheim right now in first place. They're ahead of Edmonton here currently. Probably going to hang on. They're up by 3 points here with 9 games to go. Edmonton's on a winning streak too, though. But Husso going up here against the former Duck Stolars in there for Toronto. I guess expected there. Anaheim, though, 11-3 in their last 14 at home. Toronto's 4-13 in their last 17, 2-8 in their last 10 on the road. They've been collapsing here. Not going to the playoffs, obviously. The Leafs do own the head-to-head, but this is old form and history matchup. So I think you got to ride the form a little bit. Toronto road unders in 8 of 11 at Anaheim here, but these teams are over teams for the most part. The Ducks here of late under, but 21-14 to the over at home and 16-8 to the over as a favorite. So give me the Ducks here on the puck line. I've got 3 straight puck lines in there today. Can't win them all, can you? In the chat, let's see what's happening. And maybe an under here for Timmy, but Larry's going to take the Leafs. And Timmy says, you'd think it might be an over. All right, well, I got one more here, and then the show's over, and it's going to be the Blues taking on the Sharks here, and hey, important game here for the Sharks right now. They are still breathing. Actually, both these teams have 73 points. They are 4 points behind the Predators. The problem is both these teams you'd have to pass not only to catch the Predators, you got to pass the Sharks, the Jets, the Kraken. I'm sorry, the Jets, the Kraken, and the Kings. That makes it tough. Even though you're only 4 points behind, you got all these other teams that are just slightly ahead of you. Even if it is 1, 2, or 3 points, passing teams makes it just as difficult there a little bit. So we're previewing them all today, but it's a do or die here really for these two. And hey, you got the Sharks at home against the Blues. Maybe that's a good spot for them here. It's like a pick 'em. So Blues are on a heater right now. 4-game winning streak, and they've won 4 of their last 5 games against San Jose. Sharks just 1-6 in their last 7. Weak form despite pretty good numbers on the season. One of the most profitable teams in the league here. But to me, I got to go under in this one. Absolute under right now. St. Louis under in 7 of their last 8, including 8 straight on the road. San Jose under in 4 of their last 5. And 5 of their last 6 games at home. So I think when you got these two teams, that's where you go. Here, I'm going to take the under with St. Louis and San Jose tonight. And let's see, we've got Sharks and Blues. Larry going under there. They are, Timmy, they are losing every freaking game. Celebrini to score. Hello to James Kelly in the chat today. Hello to James. And he was saying, what about that Dallas game there against Pittsburgh? Thank you, James. Good to see you in there. Timmy's got a parlay. And Moon Man made it. Moon Man did make it tonight. Hello to Moon Man. All right, that's going to do it here for Night Moves. We had a good show. And Really appreciate you joining me here for nearly an hour and a half. Really had a great time with you, and we'll be back tomorrow with more Night Moves, previewing baseball, NBA, NHL, and heading, of course, to the. I've only watched the Connecticut Duke replay here for the 5th time tonight. It's just getting exciting every time, isn't it? And join me back here tomorrow for more Night Moves on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Make sure we're here for another week. So tomorrow, Monday morning, don't forget to join Tony and his panel for the morning show, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. Tony will be giving you the previews with the guys of the card here today. And then don't forget, Rod joins you at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific with the happy hour. And that's it for that. All right, that's going to do it here for the action on Night Moves. For the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Las Vegas.